Servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. So this weekend, the Green Party in Germany really has something to celebrate. From their point of view, what happened now is a historic moment in Germany. On this weekend, Saturday, April the 15th, the last 3 nuclear power plants that were still producing electricity were shut down. Over the last years, nuclear power was phased out plant by plant until only these 3 were remaining. They should have been shut down much earlier, but as we have a little bit of an energy crisis on our hands right now, thanks to the policies of our current government, they decided as a compromise to keep them connected to the grid and producing electricity until the middle of April 2023. And now they will, according to this compromise plan, be shut down completely. In today's presentation, I want to tell you what various powerful politicians in Germany have to say about this and what that means for Germany, for German families and for the German industry. Before we get into all of this, however, I want to thank once again my supporters and my subscribers. Please share these videos, as YouTube, for example, will not do that for me, unfortunately. Make sure that you're still subscribed and that you get the notifications. I get a lot of messages lately that tell me that people who are subscribed to me did not get any notifications on YouTube. If you want an alternative channel to get notifications, you can subscribe to me on Telegram also. All the links are down below. So as I said, the Green Party is celebrating right now, and you have to understand that a lot of these older Green Party politicians, their entire life's work is based on fighting against nuclear power in Germany. That is their sole reason in many cases to be a politician, and this is what their voter base also demands from them. So for these older guys, this is really a triumph. This is the peak of their political career, this day, this weekend. So there are these celebrations and demonstrations against nuclear power, but at the same time, there are also some demonstrations in favor of nuclear power and people who are voicing their discontent that these 3 plants are being shut down now. Now you have to understand that for 1 year they were telling us now that every kilowatt hour counts and every little bit of electricity that we can create without natural gas really is vital for our industry and the survival of Germany. But you know, these nuclear reactors that always have delivered very safe and very clean and stable base load electricity. Who needs those, right? So in these graphs, you can see the different contributions to our electricity production in Germany. Nuclear power is that not so bright yellow bar that you can see here. And you see that over the years, it has been faded out until only 3 were remaining. That is the little line. And you know, if they had plotted that at the very bottom, you would see that the output is very stable, but maybe they plotted like this on purpose. You can also nicely see that wind power, which is that cyan-colored bar here, that has been ramped up. And you can also see how unreliable solar power is. That is the bright yellow at the top. Of course, it's only when the sun is shining. And also, well, in winter we get mostly nothing. Which is, of course, not surprising because we're in Central Europe here. Of course, there is no plan and no available technology to overcome this obvious problem of storage, like you would need an industrial-sized, very cheap battery that is reliable and that can store this energy for a long time in a, well, economically viable way somehow. But as I said, this fight against nuclear power by the Green Party has not so much to do with facts and with science, but more with emotional reasons and with ideology. And also their personal finances, their personal bottom line or their family income actually, their household income is in some cases solely dependent on this activism against nuclear power. But it gets even better. What do these politicians have to say right now? Well, there is Katrin Göring, for example. She says that the nuclear power plants were really the reason why our electricity prices are so high in Germany. And once these nuclear power plants are no longer producing, then the price for electricity will significantly go down in Germany. And well, today, Sunday, is the first day that this is the case. So I give it a little time, but I want to see falling energy prices, falling electricity prices now, because Frau Göring said so. Well, this is of course preposterous. If you look, we have one of the highest electricity costs in Europe, in the entire world, on the entire planet. I think only Denmark here ranks higher at the moment. This is from 2022, I think. And the government has even said already that they will increase this by another installment of some sort of carbon tax. So I think that the electricity prices will only rise in Germany and they will not go down. And once again, not because resources become more expensive or something. No, it is just redistribution of wealth or income. The government imposes these made-up arbitrary taxes and then just gives that money to people abroad or to people who don't want to work. That's basically what is going on here. Oh yeah, and then our Minister for the Economy, Mr. Habeck, he did a little photo shooting tour to Ukraine recently. And of course, you know that Ukraine has nuclear power plants, and unlike our plants in Germany, the ones there are not really safe. And he must know that. It is a conflict zone after all right now, isn't it? So when he was asked by a journalist what his opinion is about these nuclear power plants in Ukraine, he said that, well, Ukraine uses nuclear power and he totally agrees with that. And he thinks that they're running very safely and they will of course continue to do that, and he supports that. So here you can see clearly that nuclear power is not a problem for the Green Party as long as Germans are not using it. If we get electricity from our European neighbors that is produced by nuclear power, they have no problem with that. It is exactly the same thing with militarism and nationalism, by the way. When that happens in Ukraine, then it's fine. But Germans, oh no, that's bad. And of course, generally one can say that all this carbon nonsense that the Green Party is advocating is of course, just that. It's a scam and they don't believe it themselves. Because what they're doing at the moment is that they're buying LNG, fracking gas from the United States, and they're buying more coal than ever. They're mining coal in Germany, and we are burning coal to create electricity at an extremely high rate right now. Our primary source as an energy carrier for producing electricity right now in Germany is coal. And this will stay this way for a long time unless we buy electricity from nuclear power from France, for example, or from the Czech Republic. So whenever they talk about the climate and carbon, that is all nonsense because their own policies contradict that directly. The only goal is, of course, to drive up the price of electricity to make everything more expensive in Germany so that they can really take away the income from German working families. And at the same time, they want to destroy the German industry, the German economy, to turn our country into a poor, powerless, developing country. Of course, Mr. Söder from Bavaria, he demanded now that the federal states, our Länder, and in that sense then also, of course, Bavaria, that they should be the entity that on that level it should be decided whether or not these nuclear power plants can continue. So he demands a change in this federal law so that Bavaria can continue to run their nuclear power plants. I don't know if he is serious and why he didn't say that in the last years. I'm not aware that he was suggesting that previously. Maybe he's just doing that right now because he thinks his voter base wants to hear that. Unless he will follow up, I don't think he's really serious about that. So, to sum up, the safest and most reliable nuclear power plants on the planet were decommissioned on April 15th, this weekend in Germany. The Green Party is celebrating and they are telling people that the prices for electricity will go down because nuclear power was driving up those prices. Yeah, exactly. And of course, they say that the wind blows for free and the sun is not sending you an invoice. So in this rhetoric, they basically claim that renewables are for free and that they're cheap. That is, of course, nonsense. Their failed policies and their belief in these very inefficient technologies, at least here in Germany in many places. Wind power is okay on the coast and solar power would be okay in Northern Africa and in Southern Europe maybe. But here in Germany, and especially in the south of Germany, there is no place for that. It is inefficient, it is expensive, and it is ruining our country, of course. But Germany needs to suffer, apparently, before people reconsider their decisions in the voting booth. Let me know what you think about that and how it is in your country. Enjoy the rest of your day. Servus, Kameraden.